Good morning and welcome to Lowcountry Charity Spotlight presented by Merchant Cooperative. This morning, Christian Maurer is spotlighting one Lowcountry charity that is helping make our local community a better place. Merchant Cooperative, a full-service credit card processing company, is proud to sponsor Lowcountry Charity Spotlight each Saturday morning here on News Radio 94.3 WSC. And now your host, Christian Maurer.
Good morning, Charleston. My name's Christian Maurer. I'm here with Tom Powers, the co-host, loved and worshipped by millions.
No, not really worshipped lately. Maybe back in the day.
We got a great guest today, Tom, with a tremendous organization, Major Jenny Richmond of the Salvation Army. How are you this morning?
Hi, I'm just fine, thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning is right. I hope Black Friday was yesterday.
It was intense.
Crazy.
It was intense, and after Black Friday, Jenny, you got people out there donating their time, raising money, right?
We do. Our kettle program kicked off is in full swing, and we're ready to make a difference here in this community in Charleston.
Well, that's awesome. Well, let's get right into it. Major Jenny, right? Major Jenny.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, that's cool. I think probably everybody going all the way back to, for a long time, the Salvation Army's been doing the kettle program or the bell ringing. What's that officially called anyway? Is it the bell ringing? What's that called?
It is the Red Kettle Program.
The Red Kettle Program.
Yes, sir.
Man, I remember when I was how long, Jenny?
It's been a long time. They started the program shortly after the Salvation Army came to the United States in 1888.
Wow.
And there was a young lieutenant couple that were in San Francisco, and they were trying to figure out how they could feed the community during the holidays. And he had this great idea to take this big kettle, set it on the wharf, and collect donations. And the program has just gone from there.
So literally from that starting point.
Exactly.
Wow. What I think that some people find interesting, just what's the structure of the Salvation Army? Is it a religious organization? Is it just a charity? Is it franchises? How does that part work? A lot of people are confused about that.
Sure. It is a church.
Okay. We
are a religious organization, but we have a really equally strong social service arm, so to speak, of our church. And so a lot of people know us just by what we do within the community for social services. However, we do have a really nice community church, and it's over on Ashley River Road.
Oh, okay.
So,
an actual physical church location.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any Salvation Army thrift stores in this area?
We do. We have two. One's at 4248 Dorchester Road, and then the other one is at 203 White Street in Monk's Corner.
So when you see the Salvation Army, like a bell ringing person in front of a local store here or in Wisconsin, it's all part of ultimately the same organization.
That's correct.
That's awesome.
Correct. And we're in 121 countries around the world.
Oh, I never
so
knew
it's
that.
not just here in not just here in the United States.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the local contact info? We're going to come up here on a break, and we'll when we get back, we'll really get into some of the other programs. But what's the best way for somebody to contact you here locally at the local chapter?
Our phone number here is 843-763-9881, and that's our regular office number.
Awesome. And we'll put that info, too, on our website, which is lowcountrycharityspotlight.com. We'll have an archive of this show as well as all the contact information for the local area.
Wonderful.
What kind of training do you need for the Salvation Army? Is there like a Salvation Army Paris Island anywhere or anything like that?
Actually, for our territory, there's a seminary in Atlanta, and that's where we went.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, you're listening to Charleston's first and only News Talk Radio. I'm here with Major Jenny Richmond of the Salvation Army, and we got a lot of things to talk about. I learned a lot here in the first 5 minutes. You're listening to Lowcountry Charity Spotlight, presented by the Merchant Cooperative. Welcome back. Saturday morning after Black Friday. Salvation Army out there ringing their bells, raising money for families. And we're here with Major Jenny Richmond of the Salvation Army.
Did you Were you out there participating in any of those Black Friday deals, Christian?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Black Friday is we donate money to all different types of charities, but I did not donate money for all those advertising stuff. Spend money here, spend money there. I didn't do that.
It can be crazy. I bet with the kettle program that some of the Black Friday things your different volunteers have probably witnessed some crazy things before, huh?
That's right. Crazy and just long lines, people waiting. And
just to get some stupid TV or
exactly,
something.
Exactly.
What's a funny story, or not a funny story, a crazy story? People out there raising have I'm sure their volunteers have come back to you and your husband, and I'll talk about your husband later too. You guys, how you got started. So what's a story that someone came in and said what happened to them while they were raising money?
Well, actually, a couple years ago, here in Charleston, someone had called frantic. They were worried. They had thought that they may have dropped their wedding ring. It was in with their change in their wallet, and they dropped it into the kettle. And they were trying to figure out how they could get it back. And luckily, we were able to meet the two together, return the ring to the rightful owner. But we have received unique donations like that in the kettle.
Wow.
Some with notes attached. Please use this for the good of the program.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, really incredible stories.
I bet you there's a good backstory why the guy had the wedding ring off his hand in the first place.
Well, but probably a diet. That happened to me. My wedding ring falls off when I don't eat for a month. Speaking of marriage,
Yes.
you and your husband, you said you married into this during the break.
I did.
Tell us about him and what you guys do.
Well, my husband's actually a fifth-generation Salvationist.
Wow.
His parents were Salvation Army officers. His grandmother was a Salvation Army officer. And so I did kind of marry into it. But we were late getting into the ministry itself. Didn't do that till we were 15 years into our marriage. He was a police officer before that, and I don't know how you go from being a police officer to a pastor, but he did. And we have 3 boys. We've been married 34 years.
34 years?
Yes, sir.
Murder's 20. Go ahead, Jenny.
And we have 3 boys, and our oldest son and his wife are also Salvation Army officers,
Oh, really?
pastors in Kentucky. Yeah.
What was the real passion behind this for you then?
It is. There is.
I would assume that's probably with everyone involved with the organization. They have real passion. What is the main? A lot of people I think associate Salvation Army either with a thrift store sort of scenario or with the Red Kettle program. But what is the main? If there was a one line, what's the slogan? Would you say for the Salvation Army? What's its main goal?
Well, our mantra is to do the most good, and part of that is from what we do in the social service aspect, but more importantly, it's what we do in the church side of the Salvation Army and just winning souls to Christ. And we put most of our emphasis on our weekly Sunday programs and the other things that happen at our church building during the week.
That's awesome. On the social services side, what does that mainly? What does that social service side provide for somebody that's maybe homeless or something like that?
Sure, we have in social services we provide food, clothing, rental assistance with utilities. We pay for prescriptions if someone can't get their prescriptions filled. We do help with that. And we have limited funding for a lot of those programs, but if we can't help, we find someone in the community who can, and we help refer people to other agencies. They all work together.
God bless you guys, man. That is wonderful, and it's sometimes a thankless job, I'm sure, but when you got a big heart and and bring faith into people's families and help them that way, it must be really rewarding.
It is. It really is.
I'm sure you've directly seen too, where people getting some faith in there and getting a little bit of a helping hand when at times stuff's really made a change for somebody. Oh,
definitely. We share stories in the newspaper during Christmas. The Good Cheer Fund, they ask for stories from our social service department, and you'll be able to read some of those, but it really is a moving experience, being able to see someone go from such desperate times to really being able to get back on their feet and to provide for their family themselves.
Do you get any funding from the state or government, or is it all through the mission?
It's all through the mission. We don't receive state or federal funding at all for any of our programs.
Wow. So everything's really accomplished through philanthropy. It
is. It's a community-driven organization.
That's great. What about the Angel Tree program? You were telling us a little bit about that on the break. How does that correlate with what is the Angel Tree? I don't think people have heard about that before.
Part of our kettle program and the funds that we raise will help us with our Angel Tree program. And it's a Christmas program that's set up to help needy families who have children ages 0 to 12. And we provide Christmas gifts, clothing, shoes, winter coat, toys for the kids of those families. Our application process concluded on October 24th, and we have almost 4,000 children in this area, in the Tri-County area, that we're going to be providing Christmas for.
4,000 children.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea,
Yeah.
Major. That is huge.
That's a huge number.
That's
a huge number. And that's just something that if that moves anybody out there, I think a positive Christmas experience for a kid is so formative on just general happiness around the holiday time.
You're right, Tom.
That's right.
If you don't have a present under the tree, I mean, I don't care how you want to look at it, commercialism or whatever, but it's still such a nice thing, just a good positive spirit of Christmas type of thing. And so essentially, if somebody's moved by that or wants to help you guys, really the easiest way, I mean, you're going to see the person ringing the bell.
That's right.
Over the next couple of weeks. All you got to do is drop a penny in there. Drop
That's
a
right.
quarter, drop $1, drop $100.
Can you donate on the website, Major?
You can. It's salvationarmycharleston.org.
Gotcha.
Right,
Salvation
you put
Army
that in
Charleston.
Google search engine, and you'll probably come right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's Charleston. 'Cause there are a lot of different ones, but salvationarmycharleston.org. We also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
The Salvation Army Charleston, South Carolina, and a lot of links are on that as well. So
Well,
you
we
can
will-
find links for.
Yeah, well, we'll include that on our website too,
Sure.
which is lowcountrycharityspotlight.com. You can go to our site and click on show archives, and this show will be there if somebody wants to re-listen to it. And we'll make sure that we put that link on there for you too, where people can easily go right there if they wanted to check out the website.
That's great.
Major, you mentioned, make sure it's a Charleston chapter. Could you sort of expound on that? So there's all these different chapters that cover different needs and through the church in different areas?
Yes, each state, there are Salvation Army units in each of the areas, and they're responsible for a certain number of counties. And every county in every state of the United States is covered by a Salvation Army unit.
Wow.
You may not find a church like ours in every county, but you'll find that there is a Salvation Army unit that is responsible for that area.
And are you guys just Charleston County?
No, we're Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester County.
So really
Yeah.
the Tri-County Lowcountry area,
Exactly.
that's you guys.
That's us. Any donation that's made to the Salvation Army is based on your zip code when you make the donation, so it would stay in your area.
Oh, okay. That
That's
makes
great.
sense.
And so if somebody was interested even, in the volunteerism aspect of it, of maybe being a bell ringer or something like that, what's that process like? Because I know Christian was talking about, I think he'd make a good bell ringer.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah. I'll tell you something, Major, and I'll donate time, and I that's a promise for me.
Wonderful.
And Tom, too, we would love to do that. We have a couple weeks before Christmas here. But yeah,
What's
absolutely.
the process with that? What would somebody, if they really wanted to do that, what would they do?
They need to call our office,
Okay.
843-763-9881, and just tell us what you're interested in, and we will get you on the schedule. There are groups that'll stand a whole day, like from 10 to 6, and cover a whole day with a different number of people to take different shifts, or there may be a person to be willing to spend a couple hours sometime, and we'll schedule that in as well.
So even like delivering food to people, different, just besides the kettle standing out there, volunteers can help you guys in several different ways.
That's right.
Do you have some examples?
That's right. During the Christmas season, the biggest help is helping us with the kettle program and picking up the angels from the various locations. And then we organize all that at the North Charleston Convention Center. That's our, quote, toy shop.
Oh, and, wow. That's where the parents would come?
Yes. They're all scheduled on 2 days, the 17th and 18th of December. And prior to that, we have the angels out in the community, and we have to get them all back to the North Charleston Convention Center, sorted, organized by family, and put all the families in a big bag ready for the parents to come on those 2 days to pick them up.
Boy, that's a lot of organization, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication.
Hundreds of man hours.
Wow.
So it's really incredible process to see and to be a part of. Some people may not be able to afford to buy for an angel to provide the gifts, but they can come and help sort and help get it all put together. So we appreciate that kind of help too.
So you don't get much sleep this time of year.
No, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Yes, it is. It really is.
That's great. Well, so that's just as simple as it can be. I mean, especially if you're someone that believes in that, it's the Christmas season and believes in the power and the message of Christmas, this is a great charity to give to. And it's probably one of the easiest charities that you could possibly give to, because they're going to be out there in front of the stores that you're going to.
And even if you're traveling, walking around, if you're out of town in New York or in Florida, and you see the kettle, throw some money in there to help
even
people.
If it's just a change out of your pocket, or if you've got more time and really want to be a part of it, it sounds like money always helps too, but really some good, really feet on the street and some good manpower is helpful as well.
Very helpful.
That's great. Well,
thanks.
So let's throw that website out there again. That's the SalvationArmyCharleston.org. Okay. Of course, you can check us out at LowCountryCharitySpotlight.com and see the archive of this show too. Or when you see that bell jingling, you can just drop a few coins in there.
Major Jenny, share with me one of the happy, good feeling stories. We make it short. We got 2 minutes left, but the Salvation Army, something that touched you and your husband, the one situation where the Salvation Army really helped somebody, it sticks out in your mind. Something heartfelt.
This is a wonderful story. It's actually from my husband's childhood. His parents were Salvation Army officers, and he remembers they had an old black station wagon, and he remembers his dad and his mom loading up that station wagon, the back of that station wagon, with a bike and some toys and big basket of food. And they set out in Virginia. They were in Virginia at the time, and it was snowy, and they set out for this house to meet this family and to take Christmas to this family on Christmas Eve. And my husband has always remembered that family in particular, and the looks on their faces and the tears that were rolling down Mom's face as they, opened the door, and there were the Salvation Army officers there with Christmas for their family. And that happens yet today. That was, 50 years ago, and that still happens these
wonderful.
Days. Yeah.
I'll tell you something. You and your husband and all the people that, God bless you, and we don't know how to thank you. And I definitely we'll make a donation, our company, to you guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that.
It's really wonderful that you came in here today, and we wish you guys the best. We really do.
Well, we're coming up on a break. We'll come back with one more segment and wrap it up.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're listening to Lowcountry Charity Spotlight, presented by the Merchant Cooperative.
What do you think of when you think of the Salvation Army? A red kettle and a ringing bell? A uniform, a soup kitchen, or a thrift store? The Salvation Army is all of those things, but it's so much more. For those overwhelmed by disaster, the Salvation Army is the first sign of hope, a constant presence, and the last to leave. It's a second chance for those in the grip of addiction, homelessness, and poverty, and a first chance for children who would otherwise have none. It's a weekly visit at the local retirement home, a hot meal feeding hungry souls, a bottled water for a weary firefighter. The Salvation Army is your generosity put into action for the good of the people who need it most. Visit salvationarmyusa.org and see how, thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is doing the most good.
Welcome back, everybody. Here with the Salvation Army. Ground control to Major Jenny. Has anyone's ever said that to you?
No, I can't think that they have.
Okay. What a fantastic show this morning. And Tom, let's elaborate on this angel program.
Well, it's a perfect show for today, being after Black Friday. Everybody's going to see the bell ringers out there.
Yep.
And Major Jenny, you're telling us how that really feeds into the Angel Tree program, which I really wasn't aware of that. And as we were talking about on the break, you were explaining, explain to everybody exactly what do you mean when you say, well, we're going to get the angel stuff together at the North Charleston Coliseum. What does that mean?
Okay. Our angels are actually children of clients who have come to sign up for our program. And each angel is represents a child ages 0 to 12 who are going to be provided Christmas presents for this year. And we're responsible for coordinating all of that, but it takes the community's effort to help make that happen. You can adopt an angel by, you can find them at Walmart stores, Great Clip salons, Northwoods Mall near Santa, Pivotal Fitness in West Ashley and in Somerville, and then at our Salvation Army unit over in West Ashley. But you can get an angel, choose an angel, buy gifts for them, then return that bag.
Yeah, the bag is cool. You showed us over the break. Obviously, we can't see it on the radio here, but we will put a picture of it up on lowcountrycharityspotlight.com, and you can see it. So it's pretty neat. I mean, it shows you exactly which child's getting it. It's got the bag and everything.
That's right. It's got clothing sizes, shoe sizes, a small little wish list on there, and then a bag attached to it.
So this is, you handed me one, and I'm going to do this here. This is my angel, age 12, female, pants 14, shirt, okay, shoes, woman 8. This is great.
Yeah.
Gift,
a little more
wish,
interactive, yeah.
Skates, learning, games, beads, jewelry, kit. Favorite colors, pink. Great. This is cool. So my wife can go out and buy gifts, and we send this to you.
That's correct. You just put the gifts in the bag and then return the bag to one of the locations that are listed on the tag.
And it could be a Kettle location.
No, it's at our... usually where you pick up the angel.
Okay.
Like at the Walmarts, they collect them for us. Or you can bring it directly to the North Charleston Convention Center. We're in Exhibit Hall A this year. And that's where all the magic happens.
And what day is that?
That begins this Monday coming up.
No problem. Where again can people pick these up here locally in the area?
They're available at Walmart. They have them hanging on trees in the front. Great Clips salons, all of them in the area. Northwoods Mall near Santa. Pivotal Fitness in West Ashley and in Somerville. And then also at our Salvation Army church at 2135 Ashley River Road.
Even has the child's name on here, Moni.
But that's great. Then thanks for all those other low country businesses out there helping you guys out. Definitely you can get more information about what's happening at the SalvationArmyCharleston.org. Or really, you can go probably better, as you were telling us, is your Facebook page. What would they type into Facebook to search for? Just Salvation Army Charleston?
The Salvation Army Charleston, South Carolina.
And they can find that Facebook
Comes
page.
up
and
very first
Oh, yeah. Awesome. And that's got a little more frequent at news and everything going on.
And it's not too late as a business to get involved at any time.
No.
And it doesn't have to be over the holidays. This is something that, the Salvation Army, a lot of focus comes over the holidays, but you do this every day.
We do.
This is a full-time job for you.
That's right. That's right. This is our main fundraiser through the year. And a lot of what we collect through Christmas effort sustains us through the rest of the year. So it's real important that we do have a really nice Christmas or a good Christmas so that we can continue to provide the services that we need throughout the rest of the year.
Through the spring,
awesome.
through the winter, the spring and summer.
That's right. Food pantries, paying rent.
Mm-hmm.
Another show yet again flies by. Well, everybody have fun shopping out there. Reach down in your pocket a little bit for some jingle. Throw it in that red kettle.
Yeah, instead of giving the stores to money, give it to Major Jenny. Every dime, fork it over. You're fantastic,
Well,
and I
thank
wish you and all your people associated with you the best, and God bless you. It's wonderful what you guys do, and you look at their webpage and find out what the thankless and hard work they do all year round, and please give to the Salvation Army.
Thank you, Christian. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're listening to Lowcountry Charity Spotlight, presented by the Merchant Cooperative.
This Christmas, when you put money in a Salvation Army kettle, expect change. Expect homes and hearts to be warmed. Expect empty stomachs and hungry souls to be fed. Expect need and despair to be transformed by hope and joy. Whether you give at our kettles or at salvationarmyusa.org, expect your contributions to change lives. The Salvation Army, doing the most good.
Lowcountry Charity Spotlight is presented each week by Merchant Cooperative, a full-service credit card processing company that provides payment processing services to businesses all over the Lowcountry. Please help and support this morning's charity so they can continue their good works. Thank you for listening, and be sure to join us each Saturday morning at 7:30 here at News Radio 94.3 WSC.